Pro-Trump supporters break their way inside the Capitol building, halting Congress from certifying the election results.
Lawmakers evacuated as protesters take free reign of the building.
But you have to go home now. We have to have peace.
And late today, the president telling his supporters to go home while still making false claims about the election.
ABC 10 News starts now with breaking news.
A chaotic scene unfolding all day long on Capitol Hill as protesters stormed their way into the building, trying to prevent lawmakers from certifying the 2020 election results, formalizing Joe Biden's win. Good afternoon. I'm Kimberly Hunt.
And I'm Steve Atkinson. One woman was shot and killed, and at least one explosive was found on Capitol Hill. Several others were arrested. We have team coverage of every angle, beginning with our ABC 10 News reporter Derek Stahl in the Live Center. Derek.
Well, good evening. Police say the Capitol complex is now secure. There's a curfew in effect tonight in Washington, D.C. that will extend until tomorrow morning. So it seems the occupation is over, but we have continued to get incredible images from protesters storming the Capitol today. You can see one protester sitting in the main chair on the Senate floor there. Also another in Representative Nancy Pelosi's office. Police say that the protesters were able to get past police by pouring chemical irritants on them. Here's a look back at how it started. The scenes of chaos outside America's symbol of democracy started around 11 a.m. Pacific. Pro-Trump demonstrators pushed past barricades and Capitol Police. Inside, security forces took up positions with guns drawn. At one point, a woman wearing Trump gear was shot. Inside the House chamber, lawmakers took cover in the gallery behind seats. Some even donned gas masks as police deployed tear gas to try to disperse the mob. By 11:30 a.m., the Capitol and two nearby buildings were in lockdown, and an armed standoff had begun. Shortly after 1 p.m., President Trump released a recorded message calling for his supporters to go home.
We had an election that was stolen from us. It was a landslide election, and everyone knows it, especially the other side. But you have to go home now. We have to have peace. We have to have law and order. We have to respect our great people in law and order. We don't want anybody hurt.
So you heard there that President Trump has maintained his false claims that the election was stolen from him. He's tweeted to that effect as well. Recently this afternoon, he called the people who stormed the Capitol great patriots and said, "Remember this day forever." Well, I want to show you what his Twitter account looks like now. You can see Twitter has taken down those tweets, including that videotaped address from the president. Meantime, on Twitter, other Congress people are saying that they are going to return to the Capitol tonight and they want to finish their work certifying the election results. Derek Stahl, ABC 10 News.
Thank you, Derek. And we are hearing from some local lawmakers who are at the Capitol as all of this is unfolding. ABC 10 News reporter Mimi Alcala is joining us right now. Mimi, Congressman Mike Levin says he is sheltering in place.
Yeah, Kimberly, and he was waiting in his office for his time to head into chambers and vote when this actually all started happening. He said normally it'd be really, really difficult to get into the building, so he was really shocked that something like this could happen, and he's now calling for everyone who was involved to be held accountable.
It's just incredibly disappointing. You know, this is just not who we are as Americans. We are better than this. Just to put it in context, normally it is impossible to get into any of the office buildings, or certainly the Capitol, without going through a magnetometer, without making sure that you're checked for for anything that might be problematic. So for people to just breach the perimeter and make their way to the chambers like this is unprecedented.
And Congressman Levin said he did feel safe enough sheltering in place, and said he commends Capitol Police for what they did with the resources they had, but said having the National Guard there at the time as this was unfolding would have possibly prevented everything from escalating. He vowed that he and his colleagues would get to the bottom of this. And on Twitter, Congressman Darrell Issa said, "The violence we saw today is totally inexcusable. Nothing justifies it, and I condemn it in the strongest way possible." He called for everyone protesting to leave the Capitol immediately. Congresswoman Sarah Jacobs and Congressman Scott Peters both tweeted that they were safe as well. Now, I just spoke with Congressman Juan Vargas about 20 minutes ago, I would say. He detailed the shocking moments when protesters stormed the building and told me he was actually ready to fight. We're going to have that for you coming up at 5 on our OTT platform. For now, reporting live, Mimi Alcala, ABC 10 News.
Mimi, thank you. Let's turn now to ABC's Andrew Dimpert, who joins us live from Capitol Hill and has been following this very active and chaotic scene out there tonight. Andrew.
Look, simply put, everything we've seen tonight, this is not what a peaceful transfer of power looks like. And almost from the jump, things were tense, but they turned violent shortly after President Trump himself addressed the crowd here and basically told them to take their message to the Capitol. One woman shot the nation's Capitol on lockdown, lawmakers being told to hide under desks and in closets as the Capitol building is under siege by violent and angry pro-Trump demonstrators. Sources tell ABC a pipe bomb was found at the Republican National Committee headquarters in D.C. and was safely detonated by law enforcement. Members of Congress who were trapped inside the Capitol reacting to the chaos.
A little bit dicey with people banging at the doors of the House chambers.
Trump supporters from around the nation storming the Capitol, forcing evacuations as Congress ratifies President-elect Joe Biden's decisive Electoral College victory. And after both Republicans and Democrats calling on President Trump to do more to stop the violence, Trump finally releasing a video telling the violent protesters to go home, but not before continuing to stoke the flames by spreading the false claim that the election was stolen from him.
This was a fraudulent election, but we can't play into the hands of these people. We have to have peace.
Joe Biden slamming Trump's response.
I call on President Trump to go on national television now and defend the Constitution.
Leading up to the violence, Trump had been demanding Vice President Mike Pence somehow prevent Joe Biden's win after it had already been certified by the states.
If Mike Pence does the right thing, we win the election.
But after 4 years of unwavering loyalty to Donald Trump, Pence showing defiance. In a statement before presiding over the ceremonial Electoral College event, Pence writing, vesting the vice president with unilateral authority to decide presidential contests would be entirely antithetical to the founders' vision laid out on the Constitution. And now the FBI and National Guard are on hand to try to gain control of the Capitol that is still in chaos here. Reporting live in Washington, D.C. tonight, Andrew Dimpert for ABC 10 News.
Andrew, you've also witnessed these events from the nation's capital today. Give us an idea now of the atmosphere there right now compared to what you witnessed just a couple of hours ago.
Yeah, I can tell you that it is still tense here. The police presence is everywhere in D.C., but it really has sort of calmed down just a bit. And by the way, Congress is set to resume at 8 p.m. They are going to continue that Electoral College ratification tonight. Guys.
That is good news. Democracy for America. Andrew Dimpert in Washington, thank you. All right, joining us now live is law professor Craig Barkas from the University of San Diego. Craig, as a professor of law, I first want to get your initial thoughts on what's transpired so far. From a legal standpoint, how do you view the events of this truly historic day for our country?
Well, the day I would compare to most would be 9/11. Okay, that's how I feel today. There's some iconic structures in the United States. The World Trade Center, those towers were iconic. The Pentagon was iconic. The halls of Congress, that's iconic. And to see an assault on these iconic structures in defiance of our democratic process is just shocking. And I think that's probably the way a lot of people see it.